Alright, very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's class. I'm tuning in after a while. Uh, Apologies for kind of not having. Let me check if we're live or not. Just give me a moment as I confirm if we're live. Yeah, we're live. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I'm taking a session after a while. I'd been traveling and hence I kind of missed out on taking a few sessions. Welcome nonetheless. Right, so good afternoon, Shruti. Welcome to the class. Just give me a moment as I set my apparatus up. Am I perfectly audible? Am I properly audible, Shruti? Okay, cool. Right. So, as I was saying, this is pretty much about me. This should give you the gist of anything and everything that I've done thus far. I've been a trainer, I've been a coach, I've been in the learning industry for a while. I'm a published author as well, wrote this book called It's Not Funny. I hold advanced certification in facilitation from Leadership Management International, which is an American organization working in the space of leadership. And I co founded this startup called Thought Sutra. Right, so that's pretty much about me. These are the various subscription models that Unacademy works on. You can clearly see as the time period of the subscription goes up, the cost of the subscription per month goes down dramatically. And if you use my name Prankur, you'll get an extra 10% off on any of the subscriptions that you go for. Having said that, let's begin with the first question for the day. What do you think is the answer here? B. Journalist along with the camera crew was. Yes, perfect. Journalist along with, we're using the additive phrase along with, therefore this verb has to be singular as well because journalist is singular. The journalist along with the camera crew was kidnapped by the militants last night. Well done. About this one. One. Alright. Amrita, as well as her parents, talks about the experience of living under the emergency rule. 21 months from June 1975 to March 1777 is a long time. So both 1 and 4 are the incorrect parts, because whenever we are talking about time period time period is always expressed with a singular verb, right? Time period is always singular, right? Whenever we're talking about time period, we always use a singular verb, right? So Amrita, as well as her parents, talks about the experience of living under the emergency rule. 21 months from June 1975 to March 1977 is a long time to create young scars in a young democracy. About this one, choose the sentence where the underlined word, or in this case highlighted word, is used correctly. So you have to tell me where is it used correctly, or rather incorrectly. Right. Correctly. Choose the sentence where the underlined word is used correctly. C or D? So the idea is D. Why? Because whenever we are talking about pedestrian, yes, pedestrian is the correct answer. Every week we are forced to listen to a pedestrian lecture. So whenever we are talking about pedestrian as an adjective, see, there are two cases of pedestrian. One is when you're using it as a noun, and the other is when you're using it as an adjective. So when you're using it as an adjective, it means dull. Pedestrian means dull, right? So we are talking about how the lecture was dull, but when we are using it as a noun, we are using it to talk about people walking, right? People walking by foot. They are pedestrians walking by foot. Yeah. So as a noun, they are pedestrians, but in all of these sentences, we are using pedestrian as an adjective, wherein we want to say that the lecture was dull. Now, pedestrian cannot be used to modify a story about spies, because spies in themselves lead a very interesting life. So, a story about spies has to be interesting, it cannot be pedestrian, right? Similarly, when we are talking about exam paper and we are contrasting it with difficult, we should use easy. That the exam paper is not easy but difficult. How can an exam paper be dull but not dull but difficult, right? That is again a contradiction. Pedestrian highway does not make sense. This is the pedestrian highway. How can a highway be dull, right? We are using pedestrian to describe highway here. Highway is a common noun. So pedestrian does not make sense here. It is an illogical adjective or an illogical usage. So we eliminate options A, B, and C, and D makes the maximum amount of sense. Well done. See, uh, belief is to now understand that the plural of leaf is leaves, the plural of knife is knives, but the plural of belief is to beliefs. Beliefs. The plural of belief is beliefs. Answer is A, right? Not C. So belief ka plural is beliefs. Believe, this is a verb. I believe that I am good at English. Now that is a verb, that I believe that I am good at English. But this belief is a noun wherein we are talking about what? We're talking about faith. Belief is faith, right? Believe is a verb. With believe with the VE is a verb. Belief with an F is a noun, which means faith. Yep. Now we're given an idiom here, flogging a dead horse. What is the meaning of this idiom? For wasting time and useless effort is the correct answer. Whenever we are talking about flogging a dead horse, the horse is already dead. So flogging the horse will not help. You flog the horse when you want the horse to kind of move quickly, or to kind of come to a halt, right? So wasting time and useless effort is the correct answer. Well done. Now you're given a sentence, right? Now there's a mistake in the sentence. You have to essentially choose the word that must be changed or modified or deleted from the sentence to make the sentence grammatically correct. Okay, two. All right. Um, the committee came to a discussion to discuss. Now, see, the idea is discuss. Discuss in itself means to talk about something, right? So discuss by itself means when you're talking about something, right? So discuss by itself means when you talk about something. Talk about something, right? So you already, in the meaning itself, you have the preposition about, right? So you don't have to repeat about here because this is becoming redundant, right? For example, if you read the sentence out loud now, The committee came to a decision to talk about something in detail about assorted problems, right? If you use the meaning of discuss, which is talk about something, about is getting repeated twice, right? So about as a preposition is redundant here, and that is why when you delete it from the sentence becomes grammatically correct. All right, let's move on to the next question now. One, the principal inquired with the students if they would like their teacher to repeat the lesson. Now, what does repeat mean, Shruti? Repeat means again only, no? Repeat means again only. How will you modify or delete inquired with? How can we modify or delete inquired with? The principal inquired with, inquired with means that the principal asked the students if they would like their teacher to repeat the lesson again. So again, sorry, yeah. Again here, repeat का मतलब भी again होता है, and you are using repeat and again both, right? So this again becomes redundant. This again becomes redundant. Why? Because they both mean the same thing. Again and repeat mean the same thing, right? So that is why we want to delete again, so that the sentence is grammatically alright. Otherwise, it has a clear case of redundancy. Hi Jayesh, welcome to the class. Identify the error here. What is the error, Shruti? What do you think the error is? We have recently, now since we are using have plus participle, right? Have plus participle, past participle, right? So this will be begin, began, begun, right? Began is simple past. Began is simple past, and we don't want to use simple past because we are using the verb have. So have के साथ we always use the participle form, right? So this will be begun. We've recently begun the process of recruiting insurance agents for our northeastern branches. Yeah. Now complete the collocation word. Seminal के साथ इन चारों में से कौन सा word blank में आना चाहिए? How do you use seminal? Or where do we use seminal? What is the meaning that we try to impart through the usage of seminal? Useful for IPMAT? Most definitely, Jayesh. Most definitely. Okay, so for seminal, we never, the idea of seminal essentially, okay, seminal essentially means groundbreaking or path breaking. Groundbreaking, right? Groundbreaking or path breaking. That is the meaning of seminal, right? So we always use seminal to talk about research or to talk about discoveries, right? Seminal research, right? Groundbreaking research or path breaking research. The seminal research about cancer cells, uh, can the seminal research about chemotherapy essentially brought about a treatment for cancer which was unknown. We don't have the cure yet, but we got the treatment for cancer, right? So, research ke liye we use the word seminal. Now we are given four functions within grammar, right? We are given four parts of speech here, and we are given the word well, right? The word here that is being used in every sentence is well. You have to match the functions with the usage of the word well. Where is it being used as a verb? Where is it being used as an adjective? Where is it being used as a noun? And where is it being used as an adverb? A is the correct answer, Shruti. Well done. Tears well up in his eyes means that his eyes have become teary eyed, right? There's tears in the eyes. He's not yet crying, but the tears are there in his eyes, right? So the eyes are watery right now. As an adjective, it is being used here. They played hard. It was a well deserved victory. So well is describing what? Victory. As a noun, it is being used in part A, wherein we are talking about a well, a kuwa, right, till the well runs dry. And finally, as an adverb, it is being used in option C, where well is describing the verb behaved, right? The children behaved well. So well is describing the verb behaved. Well done. Choose the correct preposition now. हाँ, वो एक मैच करने से ही, पहला मैच करने से ही आपको करेक्ट आंसर मिल जाता, दो भी करने की जरूरत नहीं थी. See, till is the correct answer. Till is a preposition that we use to describe time, right? Do not eat the cake, wait till your friends come. Or if we did not have the verb come, do not eat the cake, wait for your friends. If we did not have the verb come and we did not need to refer to time, then we could have used the preposition for as well. Do not eat the cake, wait for your friends, right? B is the correct answer. Study hard, else you will not pass the exam. So cause effect is being established here using the conjunction else. Good job, Jayesh. Understand, Jayesh and Shruti, we are talking about a team, right? After years of research, a team of doctors and medical researchers. Team is a collective noun, right? Team is a collective noun, and for collective nouns, we always use singular verbs. For collective nouns, we always use singular verbs. So, after years of research, a team of doctors and medical researchers has finally concluded something elders have been telling us for decades, that we should walk for half an hour and avoid heavy dinner every day. Right? So, when we're talking about team, we always use singular verbs. Right? Has is a singular verb. Right? So we'll eliminate option 1 because have is plural, and has been means that it started in the past and it is continuing into the present. So we will not use present perfect continuous. We will use present perfect, that a team has finally concluded. Something elders have been telling us for decades. Present perfect means that something, it just happened, right? Has been finally concluding is continuous. ऐसा थोड़ी है कि conclusion शुरू हुई थी और अभी तक चलती आ रही है. We are talking about something that has concluded, right? That is why we'll go with uh, option 2 in this scenario, right? Again, this is continuous, therefore we eliminate option 4 as well. Okay, now we are using the word bundle here, right? You have to tell me in which of the options it is being used, uh, basically incorrectly. Which of these options is it being used in an incorrect fashion? Blunder. Okay. He made, uh, What is wrong here? So when we say he made a bundle in the share market, bundle means a lot of money. Okay. Now यहाँ पे bundle means additional money. So that is another way in which we use bundle as a noun, where we use it to mean addition, where we not additional but a lot of. Sorry. With Shruti's comment, I got tongue tied. So bundle here, when we say he made a bundle in the share market, bundle means a lot of money. Okay. We can also use bundle to, for example, I had to spend a bundle to buy this new air conditioner, or I had to spend a bundle to buy myself a car. Right? Bundle means a lot of money, right? So in the third sentence, it is being used correctly. In the first sentence, also it is being used correctly. The newborn baby was bundle of joy. What we are trying to say is that a newborn baby is, basically what do you call it? A reason for joy. That a newborn baby is a bundle of joy, reason for joy for the family. While others are offering a bundle of additional benefits, sense, but when you look at the fourth sentence, it was sheer luck that brought a bundle of Boy Scouts to where I was wounded for Boy Scouts. By Boy Scouts, right? So we'll use team Boy Scouts or a bunch of Boy Scouts, right? When we talk about people, we don't use bundle, we use team or bunch or say group of Boy Scouts. Bundle as a collective noun is used for things such as benefits, such as joy. Okay. So the answer to this particular question is option 4, where it is being used in an incorrect fashion, because bundle ki jagah we need team or bunch or group. So net issue hai shayad. Okay. Give me a moment as I figure it out. Okay, is this any better? Yeah, I hope this is better. Right. So as I was saying that when we're talking about bundle, right, when we're talking about bundle of Boy Scouts does not make sense. It should be either team or group or bunch of Boy Scouts, right? This is where it is being used in an incorrect fashion. Bundle of additional benefits makes sense, Shruti. Why? Because we're talking about benefits that are additional, and for those additional benefits, we are using bundle. So, bundle is not redundant when it comes to talking about additional, because one is we can say bundle of benefits, but now we are saying bundle of additional benefits, right? For example, earlier they were offering with the SIM card, they would give you 100 SMSs. So that is a benefit. But now we are saying that when we talk about additional benefits, they are offering 1 GB PA, 1 GB ka monthly internet as well. They're offering 100 minutes of free calling, right? So these are additional benefits, or in additional benefits ka bundle hame mil raha hai mobile operators ke through. That is what we are trying to say, right? So there is no case of redundancy in that sense. All right. So this is the sentence where it is being used in an incorrect fashion. Now let's look at reason. Option 2, has she given you any reason for her reason? Okay. So understand here that for reason we are using different meanings, right? And reason one is an abstract noun, so we don't need an article there. We don't need a reason. How do you deal with a friend who doesn't listen to reason? This reason means logic or rationality. How do you listen to a friend who doesn't listen to reason? So we don't need to insert an article there, right? Because we're talking about an abstract noun, right? Your stand is beyond all reason is correct. See how we're not using any article here, right? सिर्फ फर्स्ट में all reasons आना चाहिए शायद. नहीं नहीं, your stand is beyond all reason. See, abstract noun के लिए we don't use plural, we don't use s to kind of make it plural, or we don't use insert articles before abstract nouns. Has she given you any reason for a reason? Any reason here, this reason is wajah and this reason is logic. So this sentence is fine in that regard. There is little reason in your pompous advice. Again, this reason means logic, right? So incorrectly, it is being used in part 4, wherein we are inserting an article before reason. Okay? Let's look at the next question. Four and Jayesh says three. Alright. We advertise. I want to do an MBA before going into business is perfectly fine. When you look at the second sentence, my wife runs. Now, business here is a common noun, right? So, my wife runs a profitable business in this suburb. Alright, so this is the sentence that contains an error. What is wrong in sentence 3? There is no error in sentence 3. If we advertise, we will get twice as much business as we have now. This business means revenue, right? This means revenue, right? Sales drives business, means sales drives revenue. How do you spend your money is as much business as yours. This means headache. Ki how you spend your money is as much my headache as it is yours, right? So this business is also being used perfectly fine, in a perfectly fine manner. This means that it is in colloquial terms headache. जैसे हमारे पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं ना कि यार तुम पैसे कहाँ पे खर्च कर रहे हो, वो मेरे को भी तो बताओ. How you spend your money is as much my headache or business as yours, right? So in the second sentence, it is being used in an incorrect fashion because it is a countable noun, right? Business is a countable noun, and therefore we need an article here. 3. Out of hand is correct. I have my hands full. I have my hands full. I cannot do it today is where it is being used incorrectly. The situation is getting out of hand is the correct usage. But I have my hand full nahi hota. I have my hands full. I have my hands full. I cannot do it today. So this is plural. Situation is getting out of hand means the situation is going out of control. Okay, so this is correct. Breach at first hand means I the minister wanted to experience it by himself, right? The minister did not want to depend on what he was hearing from other people. He wanted to see it, to experience it himself. That is the meaning of at first hand. Out of hand means out of control. Lend me a hand means help. He was willing to lend me a hand. But I have my hands full is how the expression is used. I have my hands full, not handful. Alright. So can you please prefer how to study error detection? Alright, alright. I'll be conducting quite a lot of classes pertaining to error detection in the coming days. Also, what you can do is, so Jayesh, I've been taking a lot of classes pertaining to parts of speech these past 2-3 weeks. So try to refer to those videos. You'll get a lot of clarity in terms of the concepts that are usually tested when it comes to error detection questions. Farmers of all sorts, exactly. Well done, Shruti. Farmers of all sorts attended the rally. What sort of cheese means what classification of cheese? They serve tea of a sort means something that is unique, right? And let's sort these boys means let's classify these boys. So, yes, second is the correct answer. This is where it is being used incorrectly. Farmers of all sorts attended the rally. Well done. 2 or 3. So the answer is 3. And I'll tell you why. Because booming is something we use in positive connotation with a lot of positive context. For example, we say that the economy is booming. But here we are talking about crime rate. So it has a lot of negative connotation. So that is where we use soaring. Soaring crime rates, because soaring is a neutral term. It can be used with either positive or negative connotation. But booming in itself or by itself is used with a lot of positive connotation. Booming means growth, right? Booming means positive growth, right? So that is why we'll go with option 3 in this regard. 3 is the correct answer. Users have nearly unlimited choices and minimal constraints. Well done. Okay, how about you, Shruti? What do you think? 2. 2 is the correct answer. Why? Because understand, Jayesh, that we are talking about nerves, right? So detrimental means, for example, uh, uh, you know, pollution is detrimental to the quality of air. Detrimental means harmful. How can nerves be harmful, right? Detrimental means harmful, right? Uh, the cars, usage of cars is usage of petrol or diesel as the fuel in cars is detrimental for the quality of air, right? So, or pollution is detrimental to the quality of air, right? So detrimental means harmful, but here we are talking about nerves, so damaged makes a lot of sense when we are talking about nerves. So physicians may soon have ways to help paralyzed people move their limbs by bypassing the damaged nerves. Yeah, 2 or 3. Okay, was probably 3. No, the answer is 2. Why? Because when we say congenital endowment, what we are trying to say is endowment means something that people have inherently, right? Some endowed with good genes, right? That is the context where we use this verb endowment in or endowed in. uh, you know Sachin Tendulkar is endowed with great sporting genes, or Virat Kohli is endowed with great sporting genes, right? So endowment is genetic, is what we are trying to say, that there is his congenital endowment, which means the genes that this person is carrying, right? And on the other hand, there is the effect of environment. Environment means conditioning here. Either environment mein, we are not talking about climate, we're not talking about weather. What we are talking about is conditioning, right? How did the person grow up? In what environment did the person grow up, right? uh, did the person get a lot of education? Did the person get a lot of good values, or was he surrounded by miscreants? Was he surrounded by people who did not pay attention to the importance of knowledge, right? So through environment, what we are talking about is conditioning, so therefore education is a part of conditioning. right? Every human being, after the first few days of his life, is a product of two factors. On the one hand, there is the genes, and on the other hand, there is the education. All right. Choose the word which is the exact opposite of the given word. So the given word is equanimity. B lag raha hai. Okay. Equanimity is understand. Okay, so I'll break the word down for you. Right? I'll let me break the word down for you to talk about the. That's all right, Jayesh. It's not the last day, right? It's not the last day. So EQ is basically EQU means equal. It is the word root which means equal, Latin word root. Anim is a Latin word root which means mind or spirit, right? For example, when you look at words such as equilateral, right? Equilateral triangle, right? Equilateral triangle. This is where we are using the word root EQ, right? EQU means equal. Okay, you would have come across words such as, you know, uh, equator, right? You would have heard of equator. Equator is a latitude which is at equal distance from Equator is a latitude which is at equal distance from both the poles. You could have come across words such as, you know, equal in itself means equal, right? Equal in itself is using the Latin root equal, right? So EQU means equal, right? It is the Latin root word which means equal, right? And then we have anim. Now with anim, the idea again is mind or spirit. You would have heard of words such as animated, right? You would have heard of words such as animated. What is the meaning of animated? The meaning of animated or animator is animated means spirited, right? He was acting in an animated fashion means he was acting in a very spirited fashion. We're using the same root anim here, right? uh, or you would have heard of a word such as inanimate. Inanimate. What are we trying to say here? Inanimate means something that is not spirited. For example, inanimate objects, right? For example, inanimate objects, right? So anim essentially means spirited. So equanimity means somebody who's equal when it comes to the spirit and mind, somebody who's balanced, right? So equanimity essentially means somebody who's balanced, who's equal in mind, who's very very fair, who's very very impartial. Whereas excited is when your mind is not balanced, when your mind is very very excited. So equanimity का opposite होगा excitement. ठीक है. A, A is the correct answer. When trade was brisk, he worked hard and made his fortune. He believes in making hay while the sun shines. That means he may believes in taking advantage of a favorable opportunity, not taking advantage of the inflationary trends, right? That does not make sense, because understand the context here, Shruti. We are talking about hard work and fortune, right? So that means dishonest and cost of others does not make sense, because we're talking about hard work. And since we're referring to hard work, the idea is that he worked hard when the trade was brisk, so it was an opportunity. There was no inflationary trend, right? Just that the opportunity was there, and therefore he worked hard and he made his fortune. All right, about this one. A is the correct answer. The angry hockey players, they express their feelings. Gave vent means to express. Good job, Jayesh. See, you're getting them right now. A is the correct answer. His blood ran cold means that he was frightened. He was frightened when he heard that his uncle was murdered. Yeah. Okay, wait. We skipped a few questions. Let's try and get to them. Yeah. I think we've done these before, but we got them wrong the last time we did them, right? So let's try them out again. E is the correct answer. Since we're talking about results, we need a plural verb indicate a reduction in the number of usable pounds. Well done. Let's look at the next one. This is very, very interesting. Okay, Jayesh, you asked me about the difference between frightened and horrified. All right, I missed out on that. So essentially, horrified is when you're stuck with a lot of horror, right? And frightened is simply when you're scared or you're afraid, right? Horrified is when you're really, really struck with a lot of horror. Yeah, that is the difference. Their meanings might seem, basically similar, but there's stark difference. There's a stark difference when it comes to horrified. Right? For example, when we went to the you know the vacated house to the end at the end of the road, we were horrified. Or when he came back home, he was horrified to see his pets, murdered. At the same time, we use frightened just to say that, you know what, I don't think I'm very well prepared for the exam. I'm a little frightened about how I'll perform. So the answer to this question is 4. The bank holds $3 billion in loans that are seriously delinquent or in such trouble that they is referring to what? They is referring to bank, right? Bank is singular. We are talking about one bank. One bank, that means it is singular, right? Whereas we are using a plural pronoun, so that does not make sense. Payments are not to be expected to be paid when is incorrect. Why? Because understand that the sentence is in active construction, whereas the second part is in passive, right? So therefore we eliminate option 2. Option 3 gets eliminated because it is a singular pronoun referring to bank, but here we are using it again to refer to payments. Payments is plural. It does not expect payments when they are, right? Because payments is plural. So fourth is the correct answer with it as a singular pronoun to refer to the bank, which is singular, and they as a plural pronoun to refer to payments. All right. So with this, we come to the end of today's class. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a lot. And allow me to tell you a little bit about the batches that we are launching now. These days, we're launching these 3 batches. At the same time, we are launching a batch which is specifically catering to CMAT, which is an impending exam, plus, GD, PI, VAT sessions, so that you can practice a lot of these things that are going to be asked of you in the second round if you've cleared any of the exams, right? And this is an exam that we are conducting on the 31st of January. Thank you, Jayesh. Thank you for that acknowledgement. Aditi, are you asking me the meaning of delinquent? The meaning of delinquent is somebody who tends to commit crimes. Delinquent is somebody who tends to commit crimes. For example, delinquent teenagers, right? So there's that. And if you perform well in these exams, you stand to win a lot of, uh, you know, fruitful Amazon gift vouchers, and you can unlock it using my first name, Prankur, right? So it is going to be conducted on the 31st of January at 5 p.m. I would urge you to participate in this. All right. Having said that, I'll wrap up the class now. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys again shortly.